Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the process of creating uh, pivot table reports from the service order resource allocation history and the service item before report. So we'll start with the service order reallocation history or allocation history. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to filter this report by date. So I'm going to get all of the appointments scheduled and rescheduled for December 10th, 2015. Okay, I'm going to add a filter here where I'm just going to get appointments for the responsibility center of customer service. You also have the option of leaving this blank and filtering via the pivot table. Okay, so after I do this, I am going to then highlight all of the appointments here and simply click Copy Rows. Then I'm going to open an Excel file on my desktop and simply paste into the spreadsheet. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get the data for an additional company. I'll get it for Georgia. So I'm going into the Georgia company, and I'm going to put in the same filter. I'm going to put in date 12/10/15. Add a filter of responsibility center again. Put in customer service. So now we've got all the appointments that were either scheduled or rescheduled by customer service in the Georgia company. I'm going to highlight, copy rows, and hit paste. Again, I've got to take out the header rows because those copy too. So now I'm going to just go ahead and create a pivot table from this spreadsheet. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to highlight all of the cells, go to Insert, Pivot Table, hit OK, and then the pivot table comes up. So for my row labels, I'm going to use user ID, which is the associates that have set or reset appointments. Then I'm going to use service item description for my column labels. I want to know what type of appointments they set and reset. Then for the values that we're going to count, I'm going to use the service item number. And then for the filter, I'm going to use operation type, which will be either allocate or deallocate. So here we've got all. If I go in here and click on allocation, it shows me just the appointments that were allocated or set. If I click on deallocation, it shows me the ones that were reset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it on allocation. I'm going to go in here and copy below here and hit deallocation. Now I've got a pivot table for both. And again, if you want to drill down on one of these items, for instance, if you wanted to see, exactly how many renewals that Ashley Peterson set, you wanted to see, or set renewal appointments, you could click here in this box, the 19, and here the 19 appointments that she set comes up. You can see the resource name, you can see the allocation date, you can see the start time, and then you've got other information over here about the appointment. You also have the account number, service order number, and the service item number. So there's a lot of information here. So anyway, so that's creating the report for from the service order allocation history. Now what we're going to do the similar thing. We're going to go back to the Virginia company and create the report using for the service item before. So now we've got the service item before report. And I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm going to do it for all the service zone codes, but I'm going to leave you would use posting date for this report, but I'm going to leave it blank intentionally, just for demonstration purposes. But if you wanted to get all the items created for the 10th, you would put in the 10th here or the 9th, whichever date, but I'm going to leave it blank because I want to just show how some of the filters work. So basically what we're going to get is all of the service items that were created since we went live in the new system starting November 30th. So I'm going to click here in the Print to Excel button, and then when I hit print, click here on Excel. Takes a few minutes for it to come up. Okay, I'm going to hit open. Okay, it's the second spreadsheet that should come up. Here it is that we want. Okay. So anyway, here's our data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight it here and then go to Insert Pivot Table, hit OK. And similar to the other report, I'm going to use signed user ID for the rows. And again, I've got all the appointments. I didn't filter by any department, so we've got everybody in here right now. And then I'm going to go and put in the service item descriptions for my columns. And now we're going to filter, and then for the actual values that we're going to count, I'm going to put in the service item number. If I can find that here. Here we go. Okay. All right, and then we can go in with our filter. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put in posting date so we can filter by date. Then I'm going to also put in responsibility center, filter here. So let's go in, first of all, let's do it by responsibility center of customer service. Click there. Now you see the number of users is reduced because we're only showing users in customer service. Now then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just filter this by date. So if I wanted to see December 10th, put that in here. Now we've got all of the items that were created for December 10th. Let's say it's right now, it's about 3 o'clock on the 11th. If I wanted to put in the 11th, put that in here, you see it's 97. And again, similar to the other pivot table, you can click in any of these items and actually see the item. So Michael Triplett has set 13 or created items for 13 renewals. We could click right here and see the status of those. You can see actually he set 2 of them. We've got resource names and start times there. So we go back to our sheet 1, but here is, again, if we wanted to do, let's say we want to change it to marketing for the 11th. Here you can see the appointments created or the items created in the Virginia company. Let's change the date to the 10th. So pretty simple. Go back to customer service. Anyway, so that's it. Hopefully this will help.